The neon sign of the Rolling Oaks rest stop flickered, casting a sickly green glow over the empty pavement. I killed the engine, my hands still shaking from 6 hours of straight driving through the Nebraska dark. That's when I saw him. He was sitting on a concrete planter, swinging his legs. Maybe 7 years old, wearing a faded red hoodie and holding a plastic dinosaur. I'd seen him 3 states back in Ohio. Then again at a gas station in Iowa. At first, I told myself it was just a coincidence. Some family on a cross-country move. But it was 3 a.m. There were no other cars in the lot. No parents. Just the kid and the wind howling through the cornfields. I stepped out of the truck, the gravel crunching too loud in the silence. "Hey kid, you lost." He didn't look up. He just kept staring at that plastic T-Rex. "He's hungry," the boy whispered. His voice didn't sound like a child's. It sounded like dry leaves skittering across asphalt. "Where are your parents?" I asked, reaching for my phone. The boy finally looked up. His eyes weren't eyes. They were just flat, matte black circles like 2 holes poked in a piece of paper. He pointed a small, pale finger toward the back of my own truck. "They aren't my parents anymore," he said. "They're yours now." I spun around. My trailer doors, which I knew I'd locked in Pittsburgh, were standing wide open. A foul, wet stench, like stagnant water and old meat, wafted out into the night air. From the darkness of the trailer, I heard a heavy, rhythmic thud. Thump, thump, thump. Something was dragging itself toward the light. I looked back to the planter to grab the kid, to run, to do anything, but the boy was gone. Only the plastic dinosaur remained lying on the concrete. As I watched, the plastic toy began to bleed. The heavy footsteps reached the edge of the metal floorboards behind me. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. Because I realized the dark reason wasn't that the kid was being taken somewhere. The kid was the bait. And I had just delivered the meal. Gemini said. The cold realization hit me as I stared at the bleeding plastic dinosaur. I didn't wait to see what was stepping out of my truck. I bolted for the driver's side door, my boots skidding on the oil-slicked pavement. I slammed the door, locked it, and jammed the key into the ignition. The engine groaned, coughing against the freezing Nebraska air. Come on. Come on. In the rearview mirror I saw them. 2 figures emerged from my trailer. They were tall, too tall, with limbs that bent at angles no human skeleton should allow. They wore the ragged clothes of a couple from a 1950s postcard, but their faces were smooth, featureless expanses of pale skin. No eyes. No mouths. The boy in the red hoodie appeared between them, holding their long, spindly hands. The engine finally roared to life. I threw the truck into gear and floored it, the tires screaming as I peeled out of the lot. I didn't look back until I was 5 miles down the interstate, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. I checked the dash clock, 3:33 a.m. I needed to find people. A bright truck stop, a way station, anything. I drove for 20 minutes, but the highway was wrong. There were no green exit signs. No mile markers. Just the endless, black wall of corn on either side. Then, up ahead, a flickering neon sign cut through the dark. Rolling Oaks Rest Area 1 mile. My blood turned to ice. I had just left Rolling Oaks. I hadn't turned around. I had been driving straight for 20 miles. I tried to slow down, to pull over onto the shoulder, but the steering wheel jerked out of my hands. The truck wasn't responding. It was being pulled. As I drifted into the familiar parking lot, I saw the concrete planter. The boy was sitting there again. He was holding a different toy now, a small plastic semi-truck. He looked up at my windshield, those bottomless black pits for eyes fixed on mine. He raised his hand and snapped the trailer off the tiny plastic truck. A deafening metallic screech echoed through the cabin. My truck shuddered violently, and in the side mirror, I watched as my own trailer detached and flipped, tumbling into the dark fields like a discarded toy. The boy smiled, or where a smile should have been, the skin simply creased. He pointed to the empty seat beside me. "They're tired of walking," he whispered over the roar of the wind. I turned my head. The passenger door was already open.